Hey, everybody, it's time for another episode of Life is Feudal Forest Village. My name is Splattercat, pretty stoked to have you here today as we hang out for a little while and continue to run this village into the ground. And believe me, people gonna die. People gonna die. Winter is here. Winter has arrived, and the unfortunate side effect of winter is that people get sick. They get everything from like rabies to all kinds of random diseases once winter gets here, and it can be a little bit upsetting. However, we've got one building still pumping out fish, so that's good. This building is going to be inactive for the rest of the season, so what I would suggest you do is that you just go bam, and you kind of just close that thing off for right now. And then I would just assign the person who's currently an herbalist just to gather fish. Don't really have much of an option in that regard, but winter should be over pretty soon. We have 800 loaves of bread. We've got a lot of vegetables. We've got a lot of fish. I think we'll be all right. I don't think we're going to run into any issues, but welcome on back. I'm hoping people will grow up a little bit faster. Hoping that they'll just grow up. If they could just grow up, that'd be perfect. We need to assign some foresters, which I think we've already done. I haven't seen any foresters actively doing anything, though. I don't know if maybe it's just because they don't have space around the building. Like, I don't know if they chop trees. There it is right there. So she went and got it done. Wow, look at the back on that girl. Carrying that log like a champion. You really think about it, it takes a lot of wood to like build a house. You gotta plane all that shit out, and that's assuming like if you build a log cabin like this, you killed a big chunk of the forest to make like your domicile. Like, look at that. Each one of those is potentially a tree. Every single one of those cavers. Like, that's quite a bit. If you don't have planing technology, like you're not able to make planks or anything like that, I would figure that planking those things out still wouldn't even help that much, though. I mean, you probably get like, what, 3 good planks out of one of those right there? Maybe? Like on a really, really good day? It's hard to tell. With this little area over here, we don't have enough population at the moment to justify us dicking around. We may have a firewood shortage. Let me go ahead and I'm going to lower my builders for right now because they're not working on anything at the moment. Let's slow the game down for a minute. I'm going to suggest that we get somebody that could produce firewood. So let me go ahead and get a Lumberjacks lodge. That sounds pretty good. We will put our village lumberjack like right here, maybe. Actually, we'll keep him back a little bit. Keep the lumberjack right there. Hopefully, I'll be able to fit a house into that little space. We'll get 1 or 2 people that their job just all day, every day is going to be just to chop firewood and make sure we don't freeze to death, because our firewood supplies are going to dwindle now that we're in winter. I'm going to keep it on ×5 for the moment. We don't have any builders. I just unassigned all of my builders. No, I got 1 builder left. She'll get it done. It's a little tiny stack. It's a little area where you can saw wood. How complicated does it need to be in order to get that finished off? It can't be that difficult. Okay, it might be that difficult. She does have to carry a lot of logs over here. But I think they should help with the ferrying, like all the random, not the ferrying like tanker build. Like, we're not going to be flying around putting pixie dust on people, helping them fly to like 3rd star to the right and all that shit. No, nay, there should be none of that today. Instead, what I'm saying is they should be, oh my god, the whiteness. Snowblind, good lord. Maybe kill bloom. Let me see if I can turn off the bloom. There we go. I think that helped out a little bit. Sorry about that. The bloom was on normal, and it's a bit much when you're in the snow. It's bad, although that is kind of a real thing that happens. I grew up in a skiing family. We skied a lot when I was growing up. And it's definitely, if the sun is out and there ain't no shade, that snow will take your eyes out hard. You'd be out there for like 6-7 hours just like, oh my god, my eyes just feel exhausted. Like I got sunburns on my eyeballs right now. So I got to rock those goggles, get that UV protection. Make sure. It's California rules. It's California rules. Protect your eyes. The sun will take them out. They'll take it from you. We only have like a little bit of wood over here, so I'm going to suggest that maybe, just maybe, naughty girls need love too. Now we'll move this over to here, and that should line us up with a pretty decent supply of wood for right now. That tree looks a little large, like we might need somebody specific to chop down that tree, but that'll give all of our workers something to work on as well, and this construction should be done in just a moment. Lumberjacks Lodge. Let's take 1 person, and that person's job is just going to be to chop firewood all day, every day, because it looks to me as though we are pretty much flat out. Yeah. And we'll see how this production goes. I don't know. It looks like you put 1 wood in there, and in half a minute it turns into 3 firewood. We may need a couple more people chopping firewood then. I may put a number of people on this job just to make sure it gets finished so we don't freeze to death. It's kind of cold. It's a little chilly at the moment. There we go. Get that firewood rocking. That's how we do. That's how we do it. Just a whole bunch of ladies working with wood over here. Just a whole bunch of ladies working with wood. Would you expect anything different, though, from a society forged from the maniacal mind of Splattercat? It's what's to be expected. Oh, no, we had a little firewood left. We had a little firewood left, but I think this will take the edge off. I got a little panicky right there. So how many non-assigned workers do I have? Just the one? Okay. How is our food supply holding up? Looks like it's holding up okay. We got veggies and we got fish. So depending on what veggies you have, that might be a rounded out diet. It can be hard to tell. Maybe we'll just have one wood chopper for right now. Just a single wood chopper, and we'll keep 2 idle people. They're over here taking care of all this business too. I think when you're around animals, sometimes you can get attacked. I noticed that when I was out in one of my previous playthroughs doing this thing, they didn't attack, but just being around them gave me rabies or something. I don't know, it was weird. Then half my city had rabies. We're all running around howling at the moon like lunatics, being all terrified of water. The ultimate fear that we have in life is a super soaker. You should be like, ah, watch out, he's got a super soaker. You know, it's pretty terrifying. It's a little worrying. If the foresters are not actively, maybe we'll just have like one forester up here. Maybe we'll tell our forester not to plant trees for right now. Instead, just chop trees. Where is our forester? You can click this little button right here to find your forester if you want. Our forester looks like she might be stuck. No, she's not stuck. Let's follow her for a minute and see what she actually does with her day. I do like how the game, it slows the zoom speed when you zoom in. I like that a lot. It makes it so you don't over zoom things. It looks like she's actually kind of just focused on moving wood around. That's okay. We need more wood, so the more wood we can stockpile, the happier I'll be, because some of these projects that we get later on in the game are going to be really, really, really wood heavy. Like, you need a lot of wood. So we got 2 improved shacks. That's 8, 11, 14. We should have plenty of spaces for people to live. How many people do we have? We have 11. I don't really want anybody to be homeless right now. Oh, we can make a house, too. That's pretty cool. Looks like we need more stone to make that happen, though. That's a pretty badass house, though. I can dig it. Let's focus on acquiring resources first. So let's say that I've got a stone quarry. That takes 510 wood. Is our firewood supply breaking even during the day? I don't know if it is. I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll assign more people to do firewood duty. In fact, I'll add one more. And while we wait, let's see if we can get a stone quarry rocking. It looks like it gives us a bit of a readout here on which areas are the most fertile if you need to have a quarry. Looks like this right here is working for us. And why can't I build in the area? It's just too steep. It's a little unfortunate. I can't slide it in right there either. That'll work though. Right there, that looks about right. Got 450 wood. I don't know if I should start that project until we get done with all of our harvesting activities. And actually, it doesn't look like harvesting activities are going to be done anytime soon. Let's get people rocking. I'm going to jump into my resource demolition menu. And maybe just like clear out this hill over here. See what we get as we clear out this hill, because I think it's possible that we'll get enough resources to really make our lives easier anyways. And then I'll put her back on plant once that's good to go. Yeah, it looks like we're actually dwindling a little bit on firewood, but it is late winter, so we should have the opportunity to set up more firewood during the course of the rest of the year. Like, that's what we used to do when I was a kid, is you didn't chop firewood like in winter. You chopped firewood in summer, and you chop firewood especially in fall is normally when I started. I remember early fall was when my dad would just leave the Lumberjacks out, and you would just go chop wood for 25 minutes or so. I used to do it for exercise, help keep me in shape because I was on the swim team and I was doing all that kind of stuff. And so I always felt like it was good exercise, and it gave me an edge, a little bit of extra training, make your arms a little stronger, you know? I enjoy chopping wood, actually. I find chopping wood to be weirdly cathartic. Like, I chop wood for like 45 minutes, and I'm just like in this peaceful Zen world. Like, I'm just happy. I'm just like, yay, life is good. We do need more villagers. We got 2 babies. Sometimes they die. Be aware that sometimes the babies don't make it to adulthood. You'll see that in the event menu if it ever goes through. It'll be like blah, blah, blah has died in childbirth, or blah, blah, blah has died while being birthed, or blah, blah, blah has contracted X disease, Y disease, and has passed away. Things like that. He's got to watch for him down there. I don't think my people are very happy. They also are lacking in the clothing department. I may turn this into like a cotton field or something. I don't know. We can collect hay. Were I to build something like a clothier, a weaver's workshop, I think is what I'm looking at here. Were I to build a weaver's workshop, we lack the stone to get it done. We actually got quite a bit of space right there where... Looks like they didn't fully flatten out the land right there, though, so we'll have to scoot it back a tiny bit. Okay, I can live with that, though. Make this like its own little... I don't even know what you would call that, but it's like its own little branch of the city, basically. Fish are holding tight. It looks like vegetables are falling off a little bit. Yeah, maybe just get started on the weaver's hut, because nobody has clothing right now. Looks like they've worn through their clothing, and so getting that all nice and finished off will make me happy. And I desire to be happy. I think it's one of my big goals in life, is just to find real happiness. Just get to that point where you're like, man, I feel happy right now. I feel really, really happy. Is the sun going to come out? The sun's going to come out. Oh, man, what a day to be us. What a day to be... Oh, man, I sat my glasses down in cheese. Food reserves are low. I don't see how so. It says we've got 700 bread. And 500 vegetables and quite a bit of fish. Maybe it was just talking about in one of my buildings food reserves was low. That seems possible. Is this back into a favorable season? Cool. Back into a favorable season for the herbalist, so we'll assign somebody over there. We got one forester over on this side, planting trees, killing trees, basically doing all that kind of stuff. Construction is happening over here. We should have enough bricks by the time they get that all set up. They are going to be whacking stone and all that kind of stuff over here. If we can get this all nice and taken care of, I'll find a nice fertile spot on the top. We'll flatten it out, and then we'll put in our quarry, which I think will be pretty sweet because every predator needs a quarry. It looks like teenager Mariana has grown up and is ready to work, and so now we've got an extra idling person as well. I do like how the resources stack in this game. Like when you have resources at a location, it actually adds them to the pile, so you get a big pile of resources over here, and then they go through and start building stuff. Now, it is increasingly likely that we may not be able to use this weaver's thing for a little while. It's possible that this might not be an option for a bit, but we've got to try. In fact, if I find a location that's good, let me go into... We need a location that's good for clay as well, and it looks like they are not the same locations. Do we have an area that's good for iron? Oh, we've got one that's a little tempting right there. That's not bad. I suppose I could have that alongside the road or something like that. Oh, that's actually going to be on the road. Okay, well, I can live with it. It's not going to ruin my life if I put that in there. 2 generic workers left. They are stacking up all the random stuff that needs to be stacked on this side. Little curious. So that's, what, stone right there? That appears to be clay of one kind or another. I like clay. I like the way it feels when it's all cool to the touch. Like clay that's been sitting in the shade and you put your hand on it. It's got like that rough feeling. I like it a lot. I don't like it when it's got that polished, like lacquered feeling to it. I just don't, I'm not feeling that. Not feeling that at all. It's rainy and it's 9 degrees Celsius. If it's 9 degrees Fahrenheit, it's kind of chilly. New resource. Oh, no resources for production and no workers are assigned to the building. That's going to be a result of the fact that there are no resources to move around. That's fine by me. Let's, in fact, we'll go ahead and I'm going to minimize the amount of builders we have for right now. I'll probably... We have 2 people chopping wood. Are they doing a good job of it, though, is my question. They're doing an okay job of it. They can make firewood, and it looks like that's the only... So Some production locations have this little tab right here with like what they can produce. So for example, with a farm right here, it would have like potatoes, it would have hay grass, it would have some other stuff that would be available for you to produce. I'm not seeing a whole lot of people jumping out to get that done, but that's probably because they're so busy over there moving things around. We're stocking back up on vegetables, which is really, really nice. I think they might be prioritizing trees first, too. I don't know, it's hard to tell. If you wanted to see how manual harvesting works, we can also do that. So let's say that I jump in right here. And then I speed the game up. Let's say that we got something you want to harvest. Like one of these stones. I don't know. We'll take this one right here maybe. You would then jump up on here. And she whips out a pickaxe. And she mines it. We can also do a rallying horn by pressing the 1 key. That'll make everybody work a little bit faster. Yeah, if you wanted to actually mine manually, you can do that. I like it as an option. It's not a thing that I'm super infatuated with, but I like that it's an option. We can also pick up the resources, and now that we have the stone, we would take it back down this way, and we could drop it off inside that building right there, and we should be able to walk down this hill perfectly fine without too many problems. Now, I don't know if this road helps right here. Doesn't seem like it made me any faster. But I just wanted to show off the fact that this was indeed an option. Now, if we get some little torches or something around here, too, to, like, brighten up the night and make it look like an actual city, I would accept that as well. Now, it'll say interact when you want to drop this off. You go like so. And then it just adds it to the pile of resources that's already inside. And that's how it functions. However, you can only control characters at 1x speed. So if you're trying to get things done very, very quickly, it might not be the best way to work your way through the activities at hand. They're not going to be able to get this done for a little bit, so I'm not even going to concern myself with it. I don't even know how much stone I have stored up, in all honesty. Is that cut stone, or is that raw stone? That's just raw stone. Okay, that's fine. Sometimes the stone like to get raw. It's got to get raw. Got the hay. The stone is all we need. Oh, they're already going to move that over. Okay, so it didn't even count it as being part of our storage. Felix has grown up and is ready to study. And then Mariana, we had another baby, so that's good. Oh, there are males in the game. I don't know, so maybe they still get pregnant or whatever. Where is this guy at? Oh, well, we started with an Amazonian village. Okay, men are in the game then. We found that out, I suppose, the hard way. That's kind of interesting, though, that like they were able to breed and produce more villagers even though we had no men. The building is almost full. They're losing their shit about food reserves right now when they're not actually that low. Yeah, that stockpile is almost full, but we can't upgrade it or do anything with it right now, so we'll have to build another one down the line. I'll probably just slide it in right here or something like that. I would also maybe suggest that we drop... Oh, I don't know. Can we build over here? Is that too sheer to build on? Looks like it is. See, and that's not even that steep of an incline, so they might want to ease up on the requirements for buildings to be built on rough soil. My guess is that it affects the interior of the building somehow, and maybe mobs get stuck or something. Seems possible. But you could fix that by adding just a pre-built foundation on the bottom that adjusts to the height, and then putting a ramp on the front of the building for the interaction. So basically, it'd be a small amount of modeling and texturing work you'd have to do, unless you already have something set up like that you could jimmy rig from another building, but it'd probably work. I might be able to fit in another hovel right here. We got like, what, 14 people? Nobody's homeless yet. Alternatively, I could just upgrade this one, but I don't really know how much. Yeah, there we go. Now we're building up some firewood. Let's go ahead and take one person off chopping duty now that it's no longer cold. It is summer. We can also use this land over here for farming. That's the other option. Is that because it's not even land, what we can do is we can go into our food menu, and we can make a orchard, or we can make a field. And fields are actually a little bit less stringent about the shape of the land, so it can be on a tilt, it can be on really whatever you need it to be. So we could put like a big ass farm in right here. It'd cost us a little bit of resources. Maybe I'll move that up a little bit. Some of this land might be equitable too, so it might be smarter to build the farmland over here on this side. So I gotta move that forward by a little bit. We'll go from the road since that's a safe space. There we go. And since this land really isn't that useful to us anyways, we can put that in right there. And that gives us yet another food resource. That'll allow us to produce fruits or whatever we want to produce. Are they done over here? Oh, good. They got all the resources they need. So the Weaver's Workshop, if it requires maybe hay, I'm not sure what it requires. Whatever it requires, that's what we're going to try to grow over here on our farm so that people can have, like, clothing and not walk around in their skivvies. Be walking around, you know, dangling brain and whatnot, flapping clam and all that shit. You can't have that. This is a civilized society we live in. This is a civilized society. Oh, man, lightning storm. So lightning can strike your buildings. The higher altitude your building is, the better chance it'll get struck. Get struck by lightning, it catches fire, and your villagers have to run around and put out the flames. So there it is, just in case you're wondering how that system functions. Give me a builder, please. I don't have anybody to build what's going on over here. This should be completed fairly shortly. It requires a little bit more stone, which I don't think we have. That's going to be kind of predicated on getting all these trees cleared out so that we can flatten some land over here and get that done. I'll probably have her just... We've got plenty of wood sitting around for right now, and I'm going to clear cut anyways. So if she wants to plant trees, I'm not gonna be upset. We're going to plant a bunch of trees, and then we'll worry about it later. In the meantime, as far as resource harvesting goes, let's collect as many of these little stones over here as we can. Looks like we've done a pretty good job of getting it anyways. A little bit of iron right there that we can use later, although I don't know what the iron is used for. There's no military or anything in the game just yet. I assume it'll be added in later on down the line. And boars and things running around, that'll be finished off soon. Man, this guy's got like the first modern house out here. I've always wanted to like live in a place where I had like an office or like where I had my construction going on. I don't know, I just wanted to learn a trade. I was always disappointed that I was born in the modern times where things like watchsmiths and things are just not in demand anymore. Becoming like a jeweler or something like that was always something that seemed really attractive to me. I've always liked working with my hands. Always. I've always liked being hands-on with whatever object I'm working with. I've always felt like it's cool. I like work like that. The digital realm does not suit me. And so anyways, I always wanted to learn a trade. I had the opportunity to become a flight controller. I had a guy that offered me an apprenticeship on that. I turned it down because I was 19 and I was stupid. And if you ever get a chance, maybe... you know, you should take some trade work. I regret it. 11 years later, I feel like it was a mistake, and I should have. I mean, flight controllers are turning around a lot of cash, and it's a job that's always in demand. He said their turnover is ridiculous. Although you got to assume if the turnover is ridiculous, it's probably a really stressful job. So who really knows? But yeah, some guy offered me. He said he got to choose his apprentice as a flight controller, and he said he would choose me if I wanted to become one, and he'd help me get in with like the union and everything like that. Didn't do it, though, because I was young, and I was like, no, I need to find myself. I need to find myself. So we need flax. We need hides. Flax and hides. Okay. I didn't know what it required in order to get the job done, so... you know. One thing at a time, I suppose. If we do a hunter's lodge, or a hunter's cabin out here... that's actually just perfect. I was not expecting that to work out as well as it did. I hope you guys finish this off, by the way. They got to put 4 labors into here. I'm going to wait for that to happen. In the meantime, we are out of time for the day. This is Life is Feudal Forest Village. I hope you've been enjoying the playthrough so far. I hope we can make a sprawling city, which is very, very populous and, you know, well occupied by individuals who all have things that they want to do in their lives. I will see you all in the next episode of Forest Village. How do, everybody, and I'll see you there.